Chargers have fought their way through a bunch of injuries and ineffectiveness, and they're getting healthy, and they're getting good, and they're getting back to the playoffs for the first time since 2018. That was the year they were very much alive for the 1 seed after beating the Chiefs on a Thursday night to put themselves in position to win the division and capture the top seed. They lost on a Saturday game against the Ravens that knocked them out of the top spot. They had to go the hard way through the wild card round, but now here we are. They're back in. Justin Herbert, we've seen what he can do. We want to see it more often. This Chargers team is getting healthier. They may get Joey Bosa back. They're talking about Rashawn Slater possibly coming back. They've got their receivers back, and they're winning football games, and they looked pretty good last night. For as bad as they wasn't dominant, and it was sluggish at times, but they still got it done against a team that hasn't given up. The stadium was full. I got to give Jeff Saturday credit. But at the end of the day, 5 straight losses after that unlikely win in his debut against the Raiders, 20-3. And good for the Chargers, and I feel bad for the Colts, but, that ship already had sailed.
Yeah, that ship
They were just playing out the string in.
That's right. They got a whole litany of issues there with the Indianapolis Colts, and we can discuss in some other time. But, yeah, the Chargers are the story of the night. I think Brandon Staley said it right, and we've talked about this a little, where you got to give them credit. They've had some huge injuries to huge positions on their football team. They have battled. I think that's one thing we've tried to say here as of late. They have shown toughness. They've gone toe-to-toe with the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs and gave them all they can handle. The Chiefs both times gave them all they can handle. Here we are the last 3 weeks still without a team that's 100%. Beat the Dolphins at home. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Got into a rough, tough game against the Titans. Found a way to get that done. And then won last night, convincingly. They're scary. You said it right, Mike. I mean, if they can get a Joey Bosa back and Rashawn Slater and there was somebody else on the offensive line missing that I'm blanking out right now, they're a team that no one's going to feel comfortable about seeing them come into the playoffs. So last night wasn't like a highlight show or anything like that. They were clearly the better team. There's some aspects about their team you really do like. They lack sizzle to me, Mike. That's the one thing I'll say. And I think that's where you keep going back to, like, the Justin Herbert thing. It's just he's too good for them to be jamming in 7- and 8-yard throws all the time. And that's what I think bothers me. I know they can't run the ball. And the offense isn't bad, but I don't sit there and go, oh, it's great and creative too. I never have watched it on the film. It's my number one complaint when I break them down on my podcast. It's the basics. It's too reliant on him always making pinpoint passes. And like this last night, the flea flicker play or the throwback to the quarterback, that was the play of the night for them. Everything else was just standard protocol, normal offense. And I just don't know if the way they play can get them to make a real run in the AFC playoffs.
That was a laser, too.
I
mean, it wasn't, a lot of times you see that flea flicker and it's a big rainbow down the field, 60 yards. But that thing, it was almost the momentum of that throw that took Keenan Allen out of bounds because I thought he was going to score, but he stepped out.
But those are the biggest completions of the night.
Herbert is great. Yeah. I know. We need to see some of that more. And we saw the artistry of the sidearm throw, the kind of thing that Patrick Mahomes doesn't. We all lose our minds. Other guys do it, and we just kind of shrug. But Herbert had that the throw that kind of wraps around DeForest Buckner. I thought that he was and is and continues to be better than what the Chargers let him be.
Agreed.
And I don't know. I assume that's on Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator. But they're in the playoffs.
That's right.
And when you get to single elimination, maybe you let it all hang out a little bit more. Maybe we see the Chargers more like they were Week 18 last year against the Raiders in that compelling game. And we saw all those fourth downs that Justin Herbert converted with the season on the line. You get into that setting and maybe he becomes a different guy again and they become a different offense and they let him go out and do his thing. Because when he does it at a high level, they can make it interesting in the AFC,
Definitely.
Chris.
Definitely. They got guys that can make plays in big moments that can, get them over the hump in a game. And especially if Joey Bosa gets back. That's where they can, be another level of dangerous with that pass rush. But, Mike Hayes, sometimes, like to what you're saying, that team that's real basic and, everybody has a good feel for their offense, it does come in handy with the playoffs, right? I think about like some of those Jets teams with Rex Ryan or the 2015 Denver Broncos where, it was real simple and basic, but then you get to the playoffs and teams are so overplaying the basic that now all these double moves and things off of it, create these big plays and throw a curveball to the defense because they go, whoa, they didn't do this all year. They were very basic. Maybe that happens. But I think we're both seeing it the same way. It's just it's a little underwhelming and lacks sizzle, sexiness, whatever you want to call it, for a guy that I think we both know, and I don't think anybody doesn't know, is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the game. And that's where it just, they lack heat downfield as far as big shots there. They don't have a running game, so it's hard for them to create play-action pass. But way to go, Chargers. Way to gut it out. And, that wasn't that fun to watch last night or that dominant. They let the Colts hang around for a period of time. In fact, to a point where you'd go, gosh, I don't know. I mean, if Matt Ryan or just somebody was in there that wasn't throwing dumb interceptions, that game had the feel that it could be a nail biter a little bit. But the Colts offense is just not capable of doing much right now.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.